Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Aamsuntitledpodcast. I'm Am. Hi, if you've never met me before, it's really nice to meet you. Welcome to my Percy Jackson dedicated podcast. It has been a while, and I feel like I'm making these apologies all the time, and it feels like I'm constantly making excuses for why I'm not here. But, guys, the academic pressure, it got to me, and it got to me really bad, and I could not concentrate on anything. I made myself very poorly. I've just been miserable, to be fair. I haven't even been on my active on my Instagram or my threads or anything much, just because I've literally it's not been a fun period of time. I didn't realize how much academic pressure can get to me, especially when you have such a busy life as well. I didn't realize that putting a busy life and academic pressure together is never a good idea. And it just used to make me so tired. Like, I had no motivation. I didn't even want to leave the house until I got my assignments done. It got that bad. And podcast just sort of went on hold. I'm sorry there wasn't any sort of message or anything. I genuinely wasn't feeling up to it. And now, this is the first week where I have had absolutely no academic pressure. Like, I finished last week, Friday, and yeah, it's been so nice to every single year since I started school, which was probably about 3 or 4, is since then, it's just been constant academic pressure. But now, this is the first time in my life I'm experiencing no academic pressure, and I'm quite liking it. I'm quite enjoying the adult life without any sort of academic pressure. So now seems like the perfect opportunity to come back to the podcast and do the thing that I love, because what do I love doing more than this? Not much, you know? And I have such a nice period of time where I can just talk to you guys. There's no one home. I've got a beautiful view outside. And yeah, I'm just excited to get back into this and not have to worry too much about doing anything academic related, and sort of like that, accepting that that journey in my life is now over. And sad as I am that it's over, I am semi relieved too. I'll never have to feel miserable because of academics again, which is quite nice. And it also means that I have more time to dedicate to this. Maybe there might be multiple episodes in the week now. But yeah, I'm just trying to focus on getting back into routine with the podcast, at least one episode a week. And yeah, just doing the thing that I love, which is this, and talking about the thing I love, which is Percy Jackson. Obviously, there hasn't been any news so far in terms of like a season 4 renewal or anything on season 3. But I'm hoping that San Diego Comic Con is less than a month away. So I'm hoping we get some sort of news then. Fingers crossed. I'm praying like everybody else is. And I'm really hoping that season 4 renewal is coming soon, because I am getting slightly stressed out. I really don't want the show to be cancelled, because I'm so happy with it, and it would be such a shame that after like years of waiting for them to pick up this adaptation again, for it to come to an end so abruptly. So please, guys, we're all crossing our fingers, we're all praying together that things work out. But anyway, I thought this episode should be something a little bit different, since it's been so long since I've been at the podcast. So when I was thinking about doing this episode and thinking of potential ideas of what this episode could be, I realised that actually one thing I've never done on the podcast is talk about Percabeth playlist. I always say that, I think I've mentioned a couple of times there's a couple of songs that I think are Percabeth themed. But I sat down with myself maybe 2 days ago and I thought, what songs really do scream Percabeth to me? What songs come up in my mind when I think about certain book scenes in the TV show? Like, what is this ultimate Percabeth playlist? Like, what is a playlist that I can put on and every single song screams Percabeth to me? Just a little hint, this Percabeth playlist is not finished. I will continue to add to it, but I have a solid 20 songs to start off with. The playlist is exactly 1 hour and 10 minutes long. It is a public playlist. You guys are more than welcome to use it. I'll share the link in the description box below and on my Instagram. And it's just something I'm really excited for. And I thought that this would be something perfect to come back to, which is like talk you guys through each song, book scenes from the TV show that I think could go to that song in that moment. And I'm really happy with the selection that I've made. I also put the question out on Threads, and a couple of you got in touch with me on Threads for your recommendations as well. So I'm truly grateful. But this is my Percabeth playlist, and I hope you guys like all the songs I've picked. If there's any songs that you think should be on the playlist, please let me know. So let's get into it because I've realised I've been talking for 5 minutes and I still haven't brought up any songs yet. So let's get into it. Okay, so the whole theme of Percabeth is a slow burn, and you know, like this idea of destiny bringing two people together that are meant to be. So the one song, and it's such a classic, and I can't believe I've never thought of this song before. Is "Can't Help Falling in Love with You" by Elvis Presley. Like, come on, that is one song I think that screams Percabeth to me. It is so simple, and it's such a beautiful song, and obviously it's a classic, so it definitely had to be on the playlist. But that is the one that sprung to my mind when I thought of a slow burn. That idea of can't help falling in love with someone despite any situation that you get put in, despite not even knowing if that person feels the same way or not. It's such a beautiful piece of music that I thought was essential, and it had to go on the playlist. So that is my first song of choice. The second song of choice is something that I've taken from the TV show, which is the song Until I Found You by Steven Sanchez. But the version of the song that I wanted to use is the one with M. Behold or Behold. I apologize if I'm butchering that. But that version of that song, oh my god, I think is pure Percabeth. And I've heard this song so many times to the point where it started coming up on my Instagram reels and on my TikTok. And obviously, the way the show has used it is for the slow dance in Titan's Curse, which I love. Like, I love that moment. I think it's perfect for that situation. But another thing it made me think of was the line in the song, which is, "I would never fall unless it's you I fall into." And it made me think of um, at the end of Mark of Athena, where Percy and Annabeth are falling into Tartarus together, and they don't know what danger they're going to end up with. They don't know whether they're going to make it, but it's the fact that they fell together. Like, they would rather die together than be separated. And I think that that's such a beautiful concept, and I think that is one of the reasons why I picked this song particularly on the playlist. And a huge shout out to the Percy series team for picking that song, because it is unbelievably perfect. Like, I couldn't have thought of a better song to put in that moment. And yeah, I'm just completely in love with that song, and it is on my playlist, and I listen to it all the time. When it comes on in the car, I'm just like, wow, yeah, it screams Percabeth to me. Now, one artist that particularly stands out to me, and the next three songs are by her, but genuinely, I know that Rick is a Swiftie, so he's probably gonna absolutely love that I've put these in there. But Taylor genuinely is one of those artists that I think is pure Percabeth feels. Like, she has so many songs that are Percabeth. I've seen so many TikTok edits to different songs of hers. But the three songs that have kind of stood out to me, Enchanted is obviously a big one. I love Enchanted. I think it's such a beautiful song in general. And you know the line, "My thoughts will echo your name until I see you again." It made me think of Percy in the Titan's Curse book. The whole time Annabeth is missing, like whenever he closes his eyes in he dreams, all he can see is her in danger, and all he's thinking about is how he can save her no matter what. And I can't wait to see him yearning in live action. Like, I can't wait to see what Walker has brought to that in season 3. It's one of probably the most exciting parts of season 3 for me. And there's a separate line that comes to mind, which is 2 a.m. who do you love? And it's just like, it made me think of like Annabeth, like when she finally realizes that she has feelings for Percy, but she's not 100% sure if he reciprocates those feelings. And it just made me think of the entire of the Battle of the Labyrinth book. And it was just like, I can't imagine how many nights Annabeth would have spent alone thinking about this potential future with Percy, not knowing if he feels the same way or if those feelings will ever be replicated. And obviously, the chorus line, "I was enchanted to meet you," it made me think of, the scene in season 1, I think it is episode 2, and Luke and Percy are walking past Annabeth as she's training her cabin, and the way she just looks at him when she sees him for the first time, it's almost like she can't comprehend that he's real. And it's such a special moment where they lock eyes for the first time, and that is the one thing that plays in my head every single time that song comes on. And I was just like, yeah, it just has to be a Percabeth song, because I can't imagine another song that gives that sort of same feeling, if that makes sense. Another one is a bit of an oldie from Taylor. And I used to love this song when I was younger, and recently it came up on the Hannah Montana 20th anniversary, and I was watching the reel, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, I used to love that song. I used to listen to it all the time, and it's Crazier, of course. And I always thought about, like, this would be one of the songs that Annabeth would use when she's thinking about Percy. Um, for like when she fell for him, like we know that she's had feelings for him since she was 12, so she would have felt these things like till you open the door. He's brought out so much in her over the course of their journey, and he does make her crazy. Sometimes he makes her crazy in like the good, like romantic way, and sometimes he drives her crazy in terms of like he just can't see her point of view, or he does something silly. And it's just like, I feel like that crazier term can have two different meanings depending on the context of the situation. But I just thought like Crazy is such a beautiful song, and it, of course, by Taylor, who I think is probably the ultimate Percabeth anthem maker. But I love that song, and it just had to be on the playlist. Like, it was one of the ones when I first sat down and listened to it, I was like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is a Percabeth song. The next one, the final Taylor song, because as much I would like to have a full Percabeth album full of Taylor, I did try and narrow it down so there's different artists on there. And this one was a suggestion that Leah gave on Seaweed Brain podcast. Great podcast if you guys haven't heard it. Their Percabeth episode was brilliant. And Cardigan is the song that she came up with. But the one line that stood out to me that was particularly Percabeth is the one where she says, "You drew stars around my scars." And I was just like, I think it kind of symbolizes Percy healing Annabeth, over all these years, without even meaning to, really. Like, she lost Thalia, she lost Luke, Grover got lost on a quest, Um, she's had it really hard, and it's like Percy is able to not erase those scars but heal them, so that they're still there, but she has someone who has protected her on this journey and made sure that she didn't gain anymore, if that made sense. And yeah, it's all like that song is just, it's a very sort of different song. Like, I didn't, when I first heard the song for the first time, I didn't think Taylor would ever write something like that, which is ridiculous, I know. But it was just, yeah, that one line, every time it comes on in my car, I'm like, wow, like, you drew stars around my scars. Like, what could be more Percabeth than that? Like, Percy had a way of making Annabeth's scars look more beautiful, if that makes sense. And I think it's such a beautiful song, and it had to be on the playlist because Leah suggested it, and she's brilliant, and I love her. So yeah. Okay, so the next song is one song that I thought of, which is "I Won't Say I'm in Love" from Hercules. Um, and there's a bit in the song where the muses are singing, and they're saying, "He's the earth and heaven to you." And it's true. Like, Percy has always been everything to Annabeth, and I'm sure he would say the same thing about her. He gave up immortality for her, which is like the biggest sacrifice anyone could ever make. Like, he didn't even know whether like she felt the same way, but he just knew that he couldn't become a god because he would end up in a situation like his parents did, and he never wanted that. He had this belief and this hope that in this small chance that him and Annabeth could be together, and that one little flicker of belief led him to make such an incredible decision, and he made the right decision. But it's just like, it just shows how, I don't know how to describe it. It's like they have this very, what's the word? Oh my god, I can't think of what the word is. This very like undefinable relationship. Does that make sense? Like, it's a relationship that's so unique, and like nobody's been through like the challenges that they've had. and it's made their bond so much stronger. And she was always in denial about how she felt. Like from 12 years old, she knew how she felt, yet she would purposely try and push Percy away. But what I think is so beautiful about that is that he always finds a way to pull her back in, if that makes sense. So I thought that that song was perfect because Annabeth definitely gave me a lot of Megara vibes. I think it was in maybe like the third book, because obviously like in the show it's easier to see that she's developing those feelings. I think we see it a lot in season 2, but when it wasn't live action and it was just the books, like we never got to hear anything from Annabeth's perspective. But I definitely think like a lot of like the first few books would have been her just in denial about how she's feeling, like, no, I don't like him, I can't like him, you know what I mean? And then obviously eventually we know it turns into something and she finally accepts that she does feel that way for him, which is quite nice. But yeah, I won't say I'm in love. Definitely a perfect song for Annabeth. Okay, so this is a new song that I've discovered. I think I heard it maybe last year, I want to say. It's by a small artist, so I'm not sure if any of you have really heard of him. But this song came up on an Instagram reel that I was watching, and I was like, oh, it's such a cute song. I wonder what the song is. I've never heard it. And it's called Rest of My Life by Keenan T. And this song, instant tearjerker if you're a bit soft like me, because the words are just so beautiful. And there's a line in the song that says, I'll love you for worse or better, whenever, wherever, for now and forever. And it just made me think of this amazing Percabeth love that is so unconditional and, you know, goes beyond like time and space. And it's just such a beautiful bond that they share. And I think that that line in that song was definitely written for Percabeth, and I couldn't imagine like a better song than that. That is probably the one song on the playlist that makes me the most emotional. But yeah, it's a beautiful song. And Keenan, if you're listening to this, amazing song. Like honestly, I couldn't believe how beautiful it is, and I'm so honored to be able to hopefully take this song and show it to more people so they listen to it. It is an absolutely beautiful song. Okay, so the next song is Running Home to You. Now, this one is by Grant Gustin, and yes, I was a huge fan of The Flash growing up. I thought it was a brilliant show. And this song is the song that he used to propose to his girlfriend. And as I was listening to it, it made me think, oh my god, hold on a second. There's a couple of lines in the song that are very Percabeth, which are, all of my life, I promise to keep running home to you. And it made me think of, I don't know if this is in Chalice of the Gods, I'm pretty confident it is. But do you know the scene where Percy takes Iris's staff and it sort of like raises him up and he says, take me home, and he like basically take me to Annabeth. She's my home. She's the person that I'm looking for. And it was such a cute moment in Chalice of the Gods. Like Chalice of the Gods, genuinely probably one of the best books for Percabeth moments. But it's just that song made me think of that specific moment, and it's like it's amazing because Percy and Annabeth have had like such a, maybe Percy has had more of a stable life. I suppose he still had his mum and a roof over his head and things like that. But Annabeth has constantly been on the run. Like she's never had anywhere to call home. Like camp was her home. And it's like now she's found that in a person, which is so nice. And it's like they've become each other's safe space. And I love that. Like, it makes me so unbelievably happy when I think about it. And I think that's why I picked that song to go on the playlist. I was like, it has to be on the playlist because these moments are all the things that make me think of that song. And that is why it's on the playlist. And Grant has such a beautiful voice. I was just, yeah, it just had to be on the playlist. Another tearjerker, if you ask me. And of course, I grew up a Disney Channel kid, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, but a lot of the Disney Channel songs like have such beautiful meanings to it. And the one song that comes to my mind when I think of a romantic Disney Channel song is I Think About You by Austin Moon, the very lovely Ross Lynch, who I've seen in concert. He is phenomenal. He is a phenomenal talent. Like, there is nobody who brings energy like that guy. And he sounds perfect in person too. Like I've been to his concerts what twice as the Driver era, and oh my god, he is brilliant. And he has such a beautiful voice, and when he sings like as Austin Moonlight, I forget he was so much younger. But the one line that stands out to me about that song is where he says, "I think about you every moment, every day of my life. You're on my mind all the time. It's true." And it made me think of the Son of Neptune book, where obviously Percy has lost his memory. He can't remember anyone apart from Annabeth. And, she was the thing that kept him going. Like, he knew that the key to finding out who he was her. And it was just such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that song is so perfect. Like, I think people underestimate it because it is a Disney Channel song, but it is so beautiful, and it is probably one of my favorites. And yeah, I feel like we were robbed of an Austin Moon tour when I was younger because all his songs are absolute bangers. But yeah, like I said, Ross has a beautiful voice, and I can vouch that even in real life, it is just as beautiful. So of course, that song had to be on my playlist. Another oldie, which I haven't heard in a long time, but it came up on where did I hear it? I think it was in a shop, which shows a lot, doesn't it? It hasn't come up for a long time. But the song "Somebody to You" by the Vamps, and there's a line which is towards the end of the song where he says, "I've got your photograph, but baby, I need more than that." And it made me think of obviously book two, where Percy kept Annabeth's photo in his I think it was in his book or something, but obviously in the show we know that he's got it on his mirror, a picture of her, which is so cute. And it made me think of that moment because I see so many TikTok edits that start with that moment where Percy is like securing the tape around her picture so it doesn't fall down, and it is so cute. And I was like, nothing could be like more of a perfect song than that song for that moment. So yeah, that song had to just be on the playlist because it was just so good. Okay, another one. Again, I grew up a Disney Channel kid. I'm gonna keep saying it, but High School Musical 3. Can I have this dance? Oh my god! It's like, why has nobody not made an edit? Like, why is there not a Percabeth edit to that song? The line that stands out in particular from that song, which I thought was very Percabeth, it's it's one in a million. The chances of feeling the way we do, and the Percy and Annabeth relationship, again, like I mentioned previously, is quite unique. Like they've been through bigger than life challenges together. And also the line, no mountains too high and no oceans too wide, because together or not, our dance won't stop. It makes me think of the Mark of Athena book again, and where Percy and Annabeth were basically separated throughout like, was that Mark of Athena? Yeah. No, it wasn't. I'm pretty confident it was, to be fair. You see, I'm having this like brain moment. I haven't read any Percy Jackson in a long time, so I think it's affecting my brain. But yeah, and it just made me think like the whole time they were separated and then they finally get to meet each other, which is quite nice. And it's like nothing has ever changed. And it's like, even despite the fact that they've been separated for so long, like it was like they were still how do I say this? It was like there's a very specific word I'm looking for here, and it's not coming. Oh, okay. So you know how I talk about like invisible strings in Rick's book? Like they were both each other's invisible string. Does that make sense? Like they were each other's end goal, but it was like a really long and hard road to get to see each other again, and it was just so nice when they're finally reunited. But yeah, I think that song is so perfect, and again, it's so romantic, and I love it. I think it's quite cute, and it just had to be a Percival song because why not? Okay, the next song that I'm put on the playlist is one by Becky G. I used to love Becky G's music when I was younger. I'm not as familiar with her new stuff, but this song, "Lovin' So Hard," there's a I think it's the second verse of the song where this I've pulled this song lyric from, which is, "And it be hard at times, but in the dark, boy, you are my light, and baby, you be my ride or die." I think that's perfect for Beth because it makes me think of like the House of Hades book where they're trekking through Tartarus together. They're not sure if they're gonna survive, but they keep fighting. They keep fighting for this future that they want together. And I think like pretty much the only reason like the two of them made it is because they had each other. Like if Annabeth had just like fallen down by herself, I don't think she would have made it. But it's the fact that they both fell down together, and they want to be together. They want a future together. They want more from life than just the demigod life together. And it's like that hope and that belief that they do have a future together is such like a driving force for the two of them in the book. And they of course managed to make it out. And I think that song is just perfect for the two of them. Like I've never seen a love like that. Like I read, to be fair, I don't read a lot of like romance books. It's not really my sort of thing. But for some reason, when it comes to Percabeth, I just have this very, very soft spot for the two of them, and I'm just like I can't help myself but feel like, oh yeah, it's to me. I know I'm biased. It is only cute when they do it. I don't think it's cute when anyone else does it, which I think makes me sound really bad. But yeah, they are my OTP. Like I can't. There is nobody better than them. Okay, so the next song again, another Disney Channel song because the writers of Austin and Ally knew what they were doing when they were creating these songs. Is the song "Parachute" by Ali Dawson, also our lovely Laura Morano. I would love to see her in concert. I think she's brilliant. She's got a lovely voice, and there's a verse in the song where she says, "When I'm standing at the edge, it's such a long way down, and I second guess myself. You better catch me now." Um, it's such a big thing because it reminds me of the fact that Percy has been supporting Annabeth a lot, and the most amount of support he gave her was in book four, which is the Battle of the Labyrinth, where she was in charge of the quest. And he was constantly reassuring her that everything was going to be okay. Even when the moments where she was crumbling, like he was there to push her up and be that support and tell her that everything's going to be okay and that she can do this and she can get through it and they're going to get through it together. And I love that song particularly for that book. I think it fits how Annabeth feels perfectly in that book. And yeah, it's a very beautiful melody as well. And like I said, like a lot of these Disney Channel songs get disregarded because they're from Disney Channel, but they're actually really good songs if you take away the fact that they're from Disney Channel and just focus on the words and the melody. They just are beautiful. I think Parachute is definitely Percabeth's song. A bit more like sort of old school, maybe when I was younger, is the song Rather Be by Jess Glynn and Clean Bandit. And there's one line in the song that particularly sticks out to me, which is, "It's easy being with you, sacred simplicity. As long as we're together, there's no place I'd rather be." And, again, it comes back to the fact that they have this unexplainable connection and they've had such a journey together. They've done a transition from like strangers to rivals to friends to best friends and eventually lovers. I think they've had such an incredible arc and they really do bring out the best in each other. And like you see, when they haven't seen each other for a while and they sort of fall out of sync with each other, how difficult their life becomes. Like a lot of like the beginning of season two was really hard to watch because it was a lot of Percy and Annabeth like clashing heads. And it's just because they were both lying to each other and they hadn't seen each other for a long time and they were missing each other. And I think that missing each other sort of translated into this anger, which was like, oh, well, why didn't you call me? And, why didn't you reach out more? And it became this very like a backwards and forwards thing, kind of like what we had in season one with the whole Medusa quest thing. And it's nice that like they've gone sort of kind of past all that. Like, yeah, they had a little bit of a hiccup in the last episode where they were kind of arguing over Thalia. But it'll be interesting to see, like, in season three, when obviously we know Annabeth's going to be kidnapped and he's going to go and save her and whatever. But it'll be interesting to see, like, what kind of conversations they have after that. Because obviously a lot of the Percy and Annabeth tension is because of Luke. And when it's just the two of them and they're not thinking about like other people or like their demigod lives, like they do get along really well. And I do truly believe like their favorite place is each other and like just spending time with each other, which is why I picked that song. The next one is also a goodie from a musical. I'm a big musical gal. I hope anybody who has been listening to me long enough knows that. But the song "Rewrite the Stars" from the Greatest Showman soundtrack, Zac Efron, Zendaya, amazing song. And the sort of song lyric that comes to mind when I was thinking of Percabeth. Because I know that one song is never going to be pure Percabeth. Like, I know there's always going to be like a line, a verse, a bridge that I really like. And the line that comes to mind is, "Because you are the one I was meant to find. It's up to you, it's up to me, and no one else can say what we get to be." And, it's amazing because, like, obviously we know that Poseidon and Athena, they are rivals, like, they've never gotten on. They fell out over various things. But it's amazing that, like, their children, despite being supposed rivals, have now formed this like beautiful connection and this romantic relationship, we could say. That we know that actually, like, we never really get to hear what Poseidon thinks about it. I suppose he's okay with it, and we know that Athena is quite vocal to Annabeth that she doesn't really approve of her relationship with Percy. But it's like, I love that despite Annabeth's mother's warnings, she knows what's right for her, and she knows that Percy is the right person for her. And they were meant to find each other on this journey. Like, why else would the universe have brought them together? And like, it's up to you, it's up to me. Like, they made that choice to be together, and no one gets to tell them, despite whether they're a higher force, no one gets to tell them that they're not meant to be together or they can't be together. And I think that that song is perfect for Percy and Annabeth. Oh boy, right, 5 more songs to go, guys. Right, the next song is one that also Walker recommended on Seaweed Bean podcast, and he said this for the Fall into Tartarus, and I actually do agree with him. I think this one song is perfect for that moment, which is Somewhere Only We Know by Keen. Oh my god, like, I heard that song yesterday when I was putting this playlist together so you guys can access it on Spotify. I heard that song for the first time in a really long time, and I realized just how perfect it is for that moment. Like, I don't really know how old that song is. I'm not 100%. I remember hearing it when I was really young. Like, I know I'm 21. I'm not that old, but I'm a little bit older than maybe some people that are listening to this podcast. So yeah, I I don't I'm really proud of Walker from picking that song. That was a really good pick, and that's why it had to be on the playlist. Now, the next song, I didn't know what this song was called. I can't lie to you, but I've seen so many TikTok edits to this song. Like, I couldn't believe it. And yesterday, when I was scrolling through TikTok, an edit to this song came up, and the line is, "It's you, babe, and I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe." And oh my god, it's such a Percival song. Like, we know that there's no like specific moment that I can point out, because we know that Percy is a yearner, but we also know that Annabeth has yearned for him for years as well, and they're just pure simps, and I just love it, and I think that that line is perfect. Like, I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe. 100%. Like, there is nothing more perfect for Percival than that line. So yeah, and that song is "Never Be the Same" by Camila Cabello. Oh my god, yeah. I didn't know what that song was called, which is ironic because I've heard it so many times you think I would have known by now, but I had to Google it to find the song. But yeah, perfect Percival song. I think it's a great addition to the playlist. Okay, the next song is a song that's particularly special to me. It was probably one of the first Zara Larsson songs I ever heard, and it's one of her more serious sort of songs, and it's perfect. Like, I think it's a perfect Percabeth song, and it's the song "Never Forget You." And the lines that stick out to me that scream Percabeth are, "I will never forget you. You will always be by my side. From the day that I met you, I knew that I would love you till the day I die." Oh my god, literally, son of Neptune. Percy can't remember anything about Annabeth, but all he knows is that she's his girlfriend. He loves her, and he has to find a way to her. And I think that that song is definitely perfect Percabeth vibes. Okay, so 19th song. Again, another Disney Channel song, because it's a very cute song, but also I think it's very fun, and it very, like, sort of summarizes how Annabeth makes Percy feel. And it's the song "Did I Mention" by Mitchell Hope. And the line, I met this girl who rocked my world like it's never been rocked, and now I'm living just for her and I won't ever stop. I never thought that it would happen to a guy like me, but look at what you've done. You've got me down on my knees. I was like, yes, that is Percy Jackson. I was like, he's down bad. He's always been down bad, even when he didn't realize it. And it's just a song that perfectly describes how Annabeth makes Percy feel and how she brings out this inner simp for him. And I was just like, yeah, that is the song that has to be on the playlist because it is just so good. Um, yeah. Okay, so this last song that I picked because I wanted this playlist to be at least 20 songs before I obviously start to add others or before I record this episode. Now, I had two picks for this last one, and I went with one based on the opinion of my best friend. So thank you for that. I had two in my head, and I'm going to pick the one I'm going to tell you which one I picked. So it was Photograph by Ed Sheeran or Perfect by Ed Sheeran. I saw an edit to Photograph, and I thought, oh yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful song. It kind of encapsulates that moment where Percy is touching Annabeth's picture, blah blah blah. But then I thought about Perfect, and I listened to it again, and there's a verse where says, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. And then, fighting against all odds, I know we'll be all right. Darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see a future in your eyes. And it made me think of the moment in Wrath of the Triple Goddess where Percy is talking about this idea of Annabeth marrying him. And he makes a joke about the fact that she'll only marry him so that she gets Sally Jackson Blowfist as her mother-in-law. But it was just like that moment, like I remember reading that line for the first time, and I instantly teared up because I was like, that's all I've ever wanted for like the two of them is to get their happily ever after, where they're not running for their lives and they're not doing quests and they're done with all that. They've got a happy family. They're just chilling and enjoying their lives, being normal people. And it's just like I felt like Perfect just had to be the song. I couldn't pick Photograph over Perfect. I was just like, no, Perfect is the one because the words, particularly the ones that I've shared with you guys, I think are perfect Percabeth verses. And yeah, I feel like Ed Sheeran's very good at the romantic stuff, and I think he makes a good Percabeth song. Oh my, I've been talking for a long time. This episode is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But I really hoped you loved this. It's something a little bit different. I have got the link for the playlist, which I will share in the description box below on Threads and on Instagram. It is a public playlist, so feel free to listen into it. Let me know what your favourite song is off it. If you guys have got any more recommendations for songs that should be on there, please let me know. And yeah, it feels so good to be back. Like I genuinely have enjoyed doing this. I've realised that I haven't done this for a long time because I've waffled a lot. But if anyone's still here, thank you so much. I really appreciate all your support. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads to be the first to know when a new episode goes live. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel once you're there. It'd be greatly appreciated. All of the episodes are available to stream on Spotify as well, where you get your podcasts. And I will be speaking to you guys very soon. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.